Let's talk about money in today's video. This is one of the top questions that bring people to my channel, and it totally makes sense because this is also one of the top questions that people ask when they are considering a career in marketing. You want to know how much you'll earn if you pursue a career in marketing, and you have every right to be curious about this because you want to know if it is worth considering, if it will actually cover your living expenses, and if it's attractive enough to go after and maybe pursue a degree or do a certificate. I got you. If you're interested in real, raw information on salaries in the digital marketing industry, keep watching this video because within the next 10 minutes or so, I'm going to bring you up to date on the information on salaries. We'll take a look at some online sources together, as well as a research with raw data in it that I think is going to be really helpful for you. I'm basically going to do a screen share and I'm going to show you the data on the websites and we're going to evaluate all together. Okay, if you're interested, let's get right into it. Truth be told, I wanted to cover this topic on this channel for a while now, but I just kept postponing it, and there are a couple of reasons for it. If you've been a follower of this channel for a while now, you might have realized that there is another video on this channel that is titled "How much do digital marketers make?" or something along that line, that also kind of touches upon this topic, but that video is essentially a Q&A video where I cover multiple questions in one video. However, in that video, I don't necessarily give a numerical answer to the salary question, and there are a couple of reasons for it, but later on, I realized that I don't really provide a detailed explanation to why I don't give that answer in that video. Because of that, some people were actually frustrated with me after watching that video. Okay, the reality is that a lot of people were frustrated with me after that video because they just wanted to hear a number that could help them make up their mind about whether or not getting into marketing is worth their time and investment or not. But it is just not that simple to talk about salaries first because it could really lead to a misunderstanding. And this is specifically why I want to do this intro first before I hop onto the numbers and start throwing some salaries at you, because I want to save you from the frustration later on that you might experience when you realize that what you hear from this video or other sources that talk about salaries, and when you realize that there is a mismatch between the reality that you're experiencing and what you had heard from these sources. At this point in the video, you might be thinking, just get to those damn numbers. But hear me out. My main goal with this video is to educate you on how to think about salaries and how to evaluate salaries as a full compensation package, instead of just focusing on random numbers that I don't necessarily think make sense if you don't have the background information and if you don't have the right mindset to evaluate salary ranges for marketing roles. But if you're feeling extremely impatient at this point, then just go ahead and check out the timestamps in the comments and you can skip to the screen sharing portion of this video. Okay, if you're still with me, first of all, thank you. Secondly, here are some reasons that I think you should be cautious when you're researching information on salaries. Number one is that average salaries usually cover a specific country, and it might not be relevant or relatable to your country, to your geographic location, because salaries, currencies, titles, and social and economic conditions are significantly different in different geographies around the world. And when you're looking at these average salary studies or researches or data that you're seeing online, they mostly refer to North America and primarily actually US. Number two is when you're looking at salaries, you're typically looking at averages, and averages can be really different from what is it that you experience in reality. And I've seen in some cases that digital marketing manager roles are assigned to people with 1 year of experience, but in some other cases, in some other company or industry, another person with the digital marketing manager role might have 10 years of experience. So please don't expect the salaries of those two people to be same just because they have the same title. Next thing is that some companies will offer profit sharing or bonuses or great career growth opportunities, and some won't. All of these things will affect your base salary significantly. So another point to think about. The other one is that some companies have great side benefit packages and perks and some don't. And when you're thinking about your compensation, you need to think about the whole picture, including the side benefits or including these other perks that the company might be offering, instead of the yearly salary number or the hourly rate that you are going to offer for this company. Again, another thing is that salaries can vary a lot depending on the type of job that you have, whether it is full-time, part-time, freelancing, contracting, in-house, working with an agency or whatnot. All of these work structures can act as a variable to your salary as well. And the final thing to consider is the industry that you work in will also impact your salary as well. Not all industries pay the same amounts of money to their employees. You might find that a pharmaceutical company might be paying a lot more than a hospitality company, or vice versa. It just can be another variable to take into account. With this said and off of my chest, I feel so much more comfortable in sharing numbers with you because now I know that you are aware of what you should take into account and how to evaluate a salary range or salary package. Okay, now on to the numbers. I'm going to take a look at some websites that are well-known references whenever you're doing any type of research around your career. I'm going to take a look at PayScale, Indeed, and Glassdoor, and then finally I'm going to share that research that I mentioned in the beginning of this video. And just so you know, for the purpose of this video, we're going to primarily look at US and Canada numbers. Okay, welcome to my screen, guys. I have a bunch of tabs open in front of me and I'm going to take you through a couple of them, maybe not all, but we are going to start with PayScale to begin with. The location is set as United States at the moment, and an average digital marketing manager's salary, as we see here, is around $67,000 per year. And it also shows us some other options that I mentioned earlier on in the video about bonuses, commissions, profit sharing, and different options. So over here, you can also see the full range that digital marketing managers make. And as you see, the range is quite huge. It's more than double almost. As I said, when I was kind of trying to go through the reasons why you should take all of this information with caution and to understand how you should approach this information, this is exactly why it's important, because otherwise you could have a misunderstanding and you could overestimate or underestimate the pay that you can expect from a salary negotiation case. Go ahead and play around with all of these filters. So as we see now, when we chose the mid-career option, the median has increased by around 2,000 to 3,000 per year. So if you want to do a in-depth research that is specific to your needs and specific to your experience, city, skill, so on, you can play around with all of these filters, and you can also see bonus, profit sharing, commission rates companies typically offer. This is a great website for your salary research. Let's also maybe look at a digital marketing specialist. For the digital marketing specialist salary, the median seems to be around 50,000. Again, with some more information on bonus, commission, profit sharing, which don't necessarily always apply to all types of companies, but again, this is typical. Let's skip to Glassdoor over here. Again, looking at digital marketing manager salary in the United States. Over here, the median is shown to be at around $76,000 per year. If you remember from PayScale, initially when we did not choose any criteria in terms of the experience within this role, the median number that we were looking at was around $67,000 per year. When we played around with the experience and we chose mid-career, we were then looking at $71,000 per year. Anyway, so this again shows us that there is a huge range between $46,000 to $112,000 range for this type of role. And one more source that I wanted to look at, because this shows a significantly different one for the same role, which is digital marketing manager. Again, United States, we're looking at salary.com this time. And in the beginning, again, as I keep repeating, they're also saying that, this is a typical range, but the salary ranges can vary depending on many factors, such as the ones that I talked about already. But anyway, the median that we're looking at over here is almost at $103,000 per year. And the range seems to be quite higher compared to the other two websites that we took a look at. I am going to go ahead and assume that this is more so aiming or explaining to us the digital marketing manager's salary for someone who is actually quite experienced within this role and within their careers. On PayScale, I was also looking at Canada, and for a digital marketing specialist salary in Canada, we're looking at around 51,000 for the median, again with a large range. But as you see for the specialist role, the range is actually smaller compared to the range that we saw for the manager role. Anyway, so these are kind of like the ballpark numbers, the average salaries that you could consider for a specialist and manager role. I don't want to take you through all types of job titles because that is going to take forever. But I wanted to show you these websites and the way to do this research as a reference for your own research. So anyway, the next one, I want to show you this article that came up from Digital Marketing Institute that I think is a good reference as well, that it's a good source that you can use. And these numbers that they have for different job titles and average salaries, they're actually linking to the source, and most of them were, I believe, pay scale. So you can go through different types of specialties within marketing, and you can look at the different job titles and average salaries from this link as well. I will drop the link in the comments below. And now on to the research that I wanted to show you that was done by my friend Kamil at 42 Agency. And he reached out to his network of marketers and actually collected a decent amount of data from his network around the titles, the current job title people had, the years of experience they had within that role. So this is not the years of experience within their whole career, but within the specific role, and their current annual compensation. And this data is quite recent. It is, I believe, early 2020, if I'm not mistaken. So I have a couple of roles within the marketing industry that we can take a look at over here. And I don't want to go through each and every one of them, but I wanted to show you slowly what we are looking at. And most of the data that he has in this research is from US and Canada, but primarily from Canada because he is also based out of Canada. So these are US dollars, but we are looking at most of them are in Canadian cities. So just keep that in mind as well. So here you go, marketing specialist. Let's look at maybe the 4 to 6 years. We're looking at 40,000 to 50,000 or 70,000 to 80,000, which also falls into the range that we were looking at from the other websites. But as I keep mentioning, the range can be significantly large. Okay, so I am going to move this over here. And I'm going to open up these tabs so that you can see. If you want to stop at any point, just pause the video, take a longer look at these, but I don't want to take too much of your time with explaining all of these. So I'm just going to share these numbers overall. The marketing manager data shows that for 1 to 3 years, so again, like this number is insane to me. So one person says that it starts at $40,000 and then the other one says that it ends at $150,000 per year. So that is a crazy range. I'm going to just go ahead and assume that they work in a significantly different company and industry, and that's why there's a huge difference between the salaries, the average salaries that they make within a year. So but when we typically look, I think it's fair to say that we're looking at around 70,000, somewhere in the higher 60s, around 70,000, somewhere over there for the median range for marketing manager with in the mid-career level. Let me open up a few more of these in case you want to take a look, but the majority of the numbers I'm seeing are between 70 to 90,000 or 60 to 90,000 in fact. And we have a couple more that I want to open up. The titles are different, but as you see, the median numbers seem to be similar. This one is a little bit higher, the product marketing manager one, it's above 100,000 per year. And these are a couple sales roles over here. And let's finally look at the VP of marketing. So as you see here, we're more so looking at above 100,000 per year when we're talking about VP of marketing kind of roles. Again, if you want to pause longer, just pause the video and take a look at these numbers, but I don't want to talk too much about them in general. So just to wrap up, we're looking at around somewhere between 65,000, 75,000 as the median range for a digital marketing manager role in US dollars. And for specialist role, we're looking more so around 50,000 to 60,000. Once again, the range can be much bigger than what we just saw over here. Thanks again once more to my friend Kamil for kindly sharing this information with me. I think it's super helpful. And I just played around with his numbers a little bit to show you in a pivot table format. Hopefully that was helpful. Alright guys, that is it from this video. I hope this was helpful. If you have more questions, as usual, feel free to put them in the comments below. If you like this video, I'm gonna ask you to go ahead, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. It really is important for the growth of this channel and for this information to reach more people like you. Please help me reach and help more people to succeed in their careers. I really appreciate your time here. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you next week with another video. Take care, guys.